What's up guys, it is I, once again, Yusuf El Sened, and today guys, I want to share with you the first of two lists I have planned for my movie, anime, television channel. The second list I'm going to mention at the very end of this video, but the first list I want to share with you guys and gals will be on my top 5 favorite anime series of all time, and you guys and gals know how much I love anime. It's among my favorite mediums ever, along with movies, television, games. It's a medium I grew up with since my younger and older brother introduced me to anime. My very first introduction into anime was actually Hayao Miyazaki's Princess Mononoke, and since then I started to watch animes like Naruto, Elfen, Full Metal Alchemist, Death Note. It's a medium that has become a part of my livelihood, as have movies, games. A lot of people make so many choices in life. Some are motivated by their work, some are motivated by relationships, and some are motivated by their families. For me personally, there are many things that motivate me, primarily movies, television, and anime. It's sad, I know, but that's the kind of person I am. So without further ado, let's begin my top 5 favorite anime series of all time, shall we? At number 5 we have Elfen. Now Elfen was an anime series I watched at a very young age along with my younger brother, and we were both introduced to this anime by his Malaysian friend who we no longer have contact with. He was a really good guy, and this anime really shows just how sick and demented he can be, more so than me, and that's saying a lot, guys. The story to Elfen Lied focuses on this young girl named New, whose real name is actually Lucy, but she begins to refer to herself as New after she got a head trauma. The head trauma was a result of her getting shot through her skull after she tried to escape from this facility where she was being held captive against her will. In this facility, they were performing experiments on these creatures. I forgot what they were called. It's been a very long time since I last watched the series, so I don't know what these creatures are called, but Lucy, or now known as New, is one of those creatures who bear these horns or these ears on top of their head, and all of them have one similarity. Besides the horn, they have these long red or pink hair, and it's a distinctive trait of these creatures. When Lucy gets shot and she gets stranded on the beach after she was washed ashore, she is discovered by two people, Kota and his childhood friend. I forgot her name, like I forgot many characters' name in the series, but they discover her and they take her in and they take care of her, they clothe her, they wash her, and very soon Lucy starts to fall for Kota like a lot of the girls do. I have no clue what's with these women and these anime series and falling for the guy who never noticed their feelings until the very end. It's a cliche I find to be annoying, but whatever, that's anime for you. So Lucy starts to adjust to her new life, but it won't be long until the facility where she was being stored at send out the squad unit. This squad unit is led by a man who is very sadistic, very psychotic, and is basically a bounty hunter. Every job he tackles, he does it for the money and nothing else. He does not know, however, what he's dealing with, and that's being Lucy. Lucy is a huge threat to the facility, only Lucy doesn't realize who she is. Lucy transitions between her real persona, that is Lucy, and her alter ego, which is New. These two personalities are triggered based on her emotions, so when she's triggered by fear or by anger, or whenever she's in a hostile situation, she always reverts back to her Lucy persona. This anime series is so graphic with its nudity, the violence, the gore. The violence, gore, and graphic content is nothing compared to the taboo themes and subject matter this series tackles. Those taboo themes, I guarantee, will disturb some people. For those of you who can handle these taboo themes, which this anime series does not hold back on, I think this is a series that will intrigue you guys, because it really is a fantastic series, but one that I found to be very disturbing and one I have not seen in a very long time. I do hope to watch Elfen Lied at some point down the line, but for now, I am going to keep my mind as sane as possible because this anime series is insane. At number 4 we have Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Now I have seen the original Fullmetal Alchemist series when I was very young, which was among the first anime series I was introduced to by my younger brother and his Malaysian friend. Between the original Fullmetal Alchemist series and the newest one, which is Brotherhood, I prefer Brotherhood. Even though it's debatable which is great, I do think both have their great qualities. The original and Brotherhood followed these two brothers, the Elric brothers, Alphonse and Edward Elric. They are in search for the stone known as the Philosopher's Stone, so they can restore their lost body parts. In the case with Edward, his arm and leg, and for Alphonse or Al, it's his entire body, because they lost it after they sacrificed their limbs, their body, all to bring back their mother. In order to revive or resurrect their mother, they have to use this thing known as alchemy. Alchemy in this world, in this universe, is a science used to create matter, or to create things based on a theory which Edward Elric believes in, that being equivalent exchange. Equivalent exchange is a very naive theory that Edward Elric believes in, because when you delve into the series, you soon learn that this idea of equivalent exchange is not so true as Edward likes to believe. The entire Fullmetal Alchemist series, both Brotherhood and the original, follows these two brothers in their journey to find the Philosopher's Stone. Along the way, they meet many other fellow alchemists. That includes Roy Mustang, Alex Louis Armstrong, the strong-arm alchemist. You also have Scar, who at the beginning is a villain but soon becomes a hero, or rather an anti-hero. And there are so many other characters in the series who are very memorable and stand out very well. Each character have their defined personality, but the one thing about Brotherhood and the original that has me hooked from beginning to end is the relationship and the unbroken bond between the brothers, the Elric brothers. Their bond is truly something you can call unbroken and untouched. It's something that I found to be really amazing, really inspiring. It's a really good, awesome series I love, and to this day it has remained among my all-time favorites. At number 3 we have Gungrave. Gungrave, believe it or not, is actually based on a video game of the same name. A video game I played on the PS2. And the PS2 game Gungrave was a lot of fun. It was kind of like Devil May Cry. Gungrave had the shoot 'em up element to Devil May Cry, but it was a very different game. That game was so much fun to play through. After watching the anime series, however, I am so glad I discovered this series, because it goes into detail of the relationship between Harry McDowell and the title character Gungrave before he was known as Brandon Heat. Brandon Heat and Harry McDowell's relationship is explored in the series from when they start off as a small gang along with their two friends who are killed in the beginning, and they later build up their reputation within the criminal underworld, and they soon become part of this crime syndicate known as Millennium. And Millennium is run by Big Daddy. And you can imagine that this is a bad setup for the friendship between Brandon Heat and Harry McDowell. I'm going to stop right there, because Gungrave is a series you have to watch. The action is so good, the animation still looks great. I love the dialogue between the characters. I love Brandon Heat as the main protagonist. I love Harry McDowell and how much they humanize him compared to the game, because he was a cartoonish villain in that game. In this series, however, you do understand why he's so desperate to become the new Big Daddy, or the new leader of this crime syndicate Millennium. Gungrave is such an amazing, awesome series, and one I love so much. At number 2 we have Naruto and the following series, Naruto Shippuden. Now, a lot of people don't like Naruto Shippuden because of how it's overstayed its welcome and how it deviates so much from the main story of Shippuden, which is for Naruto to find Sasuke. I can understand those who hate Shippuden, or some parts of Shippuden which really does irritate people. I understand where they're coming from. I have to say that I am very forgiving to Shippuden, and now it has a lot of problems I can't ignore. Naruto Shippuden may have a lot of flaws, but it's still a series I really enjoy, and it all began from the original series Naruto, which once again my older brother and younger brother introduced me to. This was actually the first series I watched, the first anime series I watched after watching the films of Miyazaki. The very first time I watched Naruto, I had the same feeling people had when they watched Dragon Ball. Naruto for me is Dragon Ball growing up. In the near future, I'm going to do a review on Naruto Shippuden, explaining why I love the series, how it inspired me, and how it became a very important part of my childhood. Naruto Shippuden and Naruto are both great animes. Naruto Shippuden is very debatable on how good it is, but I do think that both of them, like Fullmetal Alchemist and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, have their good and bad qualities. Whichever series you think is the best, I do think that these two series series have something for everyone. You can have all these shonen series in the world, from Bleach to One Piece to Dragon Ball. Naruto, whether Shippuden or the original, will always be my favorite shonen series. It's a series that has remained timeless for me, and it's one I will never stop watching for many years to come. And finally, at number 1, we have Berserk. Berserk, guys, wow! Where do I start with this anime? This anime series by far is the best and my absolute favorite anime series of all time. I've watched all the films, all the series based on Berserk, including the newest ones from season 1 that was released in 2016, and the second one which was released in 2017 this year. I've also played the video games based on Berserk. It doesn't matter if it's the game, the movies, the series, or the manga. I love everything about Berserk. The characters, the story, the themes, ideas explored. Everything that's so good about Berserk can be attributed to Kentaro Miura's writing. Miura-san presents to us a world set in medieval time where demons and man live among each other, and we follow our main protagonist Guts, a black swordsman who carries a giant sword known as the Dragon Slayer, and his long-standing journey against the man who was betrayed and broke his heart, that man being Griffith, the White Hawk. Guts and Griffith used to be a part of this band of mercenaries known as Band of the Hawk, along with Casca, who was Griffith's second in command. The Golden Age arc of the manga and anime series released in the late 90s focuses on the story of Guts. Before Guts has met the Band of the Hawk, he didn't know what he's fighting for. Guts has had a very harsh life growing up, the most harshest life you can imagine. When Guts was an infant, he was taken in by a man known as Gambino, and Gambino was very brutal and abusive towards Guts. He didn't consider him his own son. He tormented him, beat him, and just made his life a living nightmare. Gambino may have trained Guts how to use a sword and how to defend himself. He never loved Guts one bit, nor has he shown him any affection. And because of that upbringing, and because of Guts being betrayed by so many people he met, he has become very distrusting of others, and he views the world in a very negative light. All he lives for is his sword and the battlefield. Guts has always risked his life trying to find meaning in what he's fighting for. And what happens near the end of the Golden Age arc of the manga will set the stage for Guts' journey to hunt down Griffith and to extract his revenge against him as the Black Swordsman. Ever since I was introduced to anime for the first time by my older brother and younger brother, I haven't found any anime series that compares to Berserk. The ongoing theme of Berserk has always been about predetermination versus free will. No matter what fate awaits Guts, he always challenges his fate, and he always manages to come out on top no matter what battle he's brought into. He has suffered so many loss and has endured so much pain, and yet even now he has survived. If I have to use the word badass to describe a character who has endured through so much pain and so much suffering, it has to be Guts. I really hate how overused the word badass is, but Guts truly is a badass. Everything he's endured to this point and how he still keeps going forward, never looking back, it truly shows how much of a badass Guts is. I can go on and on about the many things I love about Berserk. Nothing I say about Berserk will truly do it justice, except for you guys and gals to check it out. There will never be another anime I truly consider a classic like Kentaro Miura's Berserk. And that's my top 5 favorite anime series of all time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like, comment, subscribe if you wish. And the second list I'm planning to do for you guys and gals will be on my top 5 favorite hentais of all time. Trust me guys, I know I'm crazy as hell, but I really want to share this list with you guys and gals because I really do love anime, I love hentai, I love porn in general, so why not share my love on hentais with you guys and gals. I won't go into detail about the graphic content of the hentai because that is not why I love hentai so much. I will go into more detail as to why I love the top 5 hentais I'll choose for my list, and that's going to be for the next video. If you want to see more from me, then please check out my gaming channel where I do Let's Play series, gaming content, all that kind of good stuff. Until next time, peace out, take care, adios, amigos, au revoir, and sayonara.